This lady was in distress this morning, and she passed away. And it just keeps happening. You can't expect people to just sleep on cold sidewalk and be completely okay the next day. You can't expect them to be completely okay enough to walk in and apply for a job. It doesn't work that way. People need comfortable, safe places to be so that they can get back into community. And that's the whole thing. We have a system where people continuously fall through the cracks, and we know people fall through the cracks, but we don't have anything set up where when they do fall through the cracks, they can easily get off their feet, get back, get work. What happens? They fall through the cracks, they end up on the street, they get attacked on the streets, drives them crazy, and next thing you know, we see them in a tent, and that's not how a person's supposed to live.
But before we started the vigil here, we were just talking about how cold we were out here. And this is just for maybe an hour and a half at the most. Can you imagine what it's like to live on these streets every day? To know that you're not going to go home. To know that you're not going to be someplace warm every night. This is what they're having to deal with, the people on the streets. This woman out here knew she wasn't going to go home to a warm bed. This was her bed. This is where she lived. And to think that we have people like this every day, every corner, every single walk of life is out here.
Pretty symbolic that we stand in front of LAPD headquarters, an institution that's meant to protect the citizens of this city. Yet we find ourselves having a vigil for a woman who passed away, right here. And if you think about it, it's pretty symbolic of the city as a whole, where the city is supposed to protect its citizens, yet, we're losing 800 plus homeless people a year.
When I first saw the article this morning about a woman who died right next to the LAPD, I definitely wasn't surprised, but I was surprised that they wrote a whole article about it, because usually these things happen all the time here and they're so overlooked and no one seems to pay attention. An article isn't enough, this vigil isn't enough, because it's too late for us to say she does for this woman. She did deserve shelter, she didn't get it, and she died.
I want to say, it's really heartbreaking to think just 24 hours ago there was a soul right there. She was alive, whatever life she had in her, I'm sure she wanted to live longer. And for our city to turn their back on this is a crisis. It just sickens me. I come out here every weekend and serve in Skid Row, and you think of LA, the power, the money, the resources. They're so excited about the new lofts and stadiums, yet we have people just a few blocks away that are dying daily. Obviously this is an example here, but it's gonna, at this point, we're just so sick of, if it's the mayor, city officials just taking their sweet time, there's no time could be wasted anymore. These are human beings, and it's gonna take us as a community to step up. So, we need everybody involved to make a difference. Nobody should be left behind. This easily could have been your aunt, your friend, your cousin, whoever, she shouldn't die like this, in vain, and, we need to make a difference.
But too many people now are losing their homes, are losing their place where they call home. Just today, at my work, I saw a woman that was evicted from her place, and she was also in the 70s. Where do these people go? The rents are way too high. You need first, second deposit just to be able to get into another house, another apartment, and it's just not possible. So the results we are seeing here every single day. I saw that with people that were being thrown out of their homes through illegal foreclosures. We warned the city. We told them there's going to be a crisis, a homeless crisis, and they did nothing about it.
And as many people have mentioned, this is a very wealthy city, very wealthy nation. And I think that's what struck me most and why I came down here tonight, is the idea of my grandmother or my mother dying on a sidewalk when we have the resources to provide health and human resources for people who need them. I have several people in my life who, when I talk about this movement, they come up against the idea that people are choosing to live on the street, or they're choosing to abuse drugs or alcohol, or they're mentally ill and they need help that we can't provide and they won't get it. And to that I say, I am the embodiment of white privilege. I was raised with a family who was able to give me the resources I needed when I had mental illness and depression. And we are all connected. We are no different from somebody who is suffering mental illness. And we have to be there for each other. I can't.
It's men, women, children. There are all types of people from every nationality, every race. They're out here. Eric Garcetti, stop. Please. We have to help our people on the streets. It has to stop. She does. Not just she does. Everybody deserves a chance to get off the streets here. That's all I have to say. God bless.
Sing praise, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see.
We've been talking to Mayor Garcetti regarding the homeless crisis since the foreclosure crisis was taking place, where we saw a lot of families moving and living on their cars. And now we are seeing the epidemic of senior citizens being pushed out of their homes because of greedy developers and greedy investors. And it's becoming a very serious problem because, again, just like this woman that has a name, yet there's many others out there in Skid Row and throughout the city, because now it's scattered all over the city. And we have our city officials that are taking their time. We understand that that the homeless crisis is very complicated because it has many issues. But we want to see action. And so far, like the brothers say, we give them a fail because they have done absolutely very few things to move forward, to get people off the streets. This is why I unite myself with you today.
Like, how many more vigils do we have to go to? How many more lives do we have to lose? You know, how many of you went to the other vigil and the vigil before that? You know, it seems like people are just constantly dying on our street. It makes me sad, it makes me angry, it makes me pissed off. It's like no one's doing anything about it. Like everyone had said before, it's just us and a couple more people, a few organizations. It's just the same people. What needs to happen, everyone needs to come together. Our elected officials, politicians, our city leaders, you know, this is ridiculous. This is, like someone said before, someone's mother, someone's sister, someone's grandmother, and no one, I feel like no one gives a shit, except, you know, a few people, and it makes me sad, it makes me angry, and this has to stop. This is not a political issue. It's not, it's a crisis. It's a humanitarian crisis, and it's ridiculous. We're living in this day and age, and, you know, no one gives a damn. So may she rest in peace, and I'm sorry that, you know, we failed her.